Okay, right. So today's concept is all about client server programming, okay, which is nothing but part of networking. And let me explain. First of all, I want to explain these points to you. So the first point is networking. So what do you mean by networking? Networking is a medium to actually communicate, okay, between devices, okay, right. So in computer terms, it is basically, okay, networking is nothing but communicating between two different computers on the internet, isn't it, my dear friends? Isn't it? Okay, communicating between two different computers on the network is basically called as, okay, networking, isn't it? You'll have to communicate, okay. So when you're communicating between two different devices or two different computers, one will definitely be a server, okay, and there would be a client. Agree, disagree with this, my dear friends? Okay, agree, disagree? These communicating between these two, you know devices, any devices whichever has a processor becomes a computer, isn't it? Any device that has a processor, okay, will actually become a computer, isn't it? Or even a a controller will become a computer, right? So communicating between these two devices is basically called as, okay, networking, right? And is that okay? Shall I proceed further? Did you understand this? What do you mean by networking? Hello, do you understand this? Okay, so networking is a very huge concept where there are certain BTech and MTech specializations itself in networking. It's a very huge topic. So Java has, I have tried to just present you the most minimal version of a client server programming, because it is important that you must understand that Java gives you certain libraries to do that. There is a reason I'm just introducing this to you. Okay, now having said that, if suppose you want to communicate between two devices, okay, what is the main thing that you need? What is the main thing that you need? Okay, what is the main thing? Any idea? Okay, you basically need a, okay, you need a channel, okay. So okay, so before that, even if you want to communicate, right, see, when I say networking, listen to me, my dear friends. When I say networking, I'm not talking about, when I say server and a client, I'm not calling a computer as a server, or I'm not calling a client as a computer. I mean, I'm not calling a computer as a servant or a server, or a computer as a client. You're understanding? I'm talking about one program inside this computer as a server, and one program inside a computer as a process, as a client. So this is server process, this is client process. Did you understand what I'm saying, guys? Do you understand this? Okay, so in a computer there would be a program running, I will make it as a server, and inside the computer there would be a client running, if another process running, I would be making it as a client. I'm not talking about the hardware server or the hardware client, okay. I'm talking about a process, a software server and a software client. Is that okay, my dear friends? Do you understand so much? I'm not talking about hardware. I have nothing to do with hardware over here. It is a Java programming, and I'm talking about processes. Okay, I told you the difference between program, source file program, and a process, isn't it? So I'm talking about processes. So server process and a client process. Okay. Now, having said that, what do you mean by an IP address? What do you mean by an IP address? Any idea? What do you mean by an IP address? Okay, IP address is a number that will identify your particular, computer, or your particular computer, isn't it, my dear friends? If you want to actually, run your program, if you want to actually run your program, or you want to communicate with particular client, you have to say to which computer is your, okay, guys, yeah, listen, okay, no. So Niveta, each device is associated with unique address. Okay, guys, listen. Okay, I'll tell you. Don't worry. Listen to me. Okay. So if suppose the client wants to talk to the server, right now, this might be a computer. Guys, listen. No, don't chat anything. Just listen to me. Okay. Now, suppose assume that, okay, Subhash is sitting. This is, Subhash is sitting in US. Subhash is sitting in US, and Firasat wants to, Firasat is in India. Okay, and she wants to communicate with me, right? If she, suppose she wants to communicate with me, she has to tell, okay, on which computer Subhash is actually working on, isn't it? If suppose she wants to communicate, or she want to send a chat message to me, then she has to say on which computer is Subhash actually present. Okay, guys, can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me? Yes or no? Right, so to identify that particular computer, right, in a network, to identify a computer, you basically have something called as an IP address. Okay, so it can be IPv4, or it can be IPv6. IPv6 is latest one. Okay, no, so IPv4 is something known as 192. Have you seen addresses like 192.168.1.0 or 101 or something? This is basically your IPv4, and IPv6 is more in hexadecimal format right now. So basically the current version is IPv4. There are few computers, a few networks which makes use of IPv4. Okay, so I'm not going into detail about what is the difference between IPv4, IPv4, v6 and all that, because it is not needed. But only one thing that you have to understand is that whenever you want to communicate between two devices, you must know their IP addresses, which will identify them. Is that okay, guys? Did you understand what I'm saying? Hello? Hello? Yes or no? Just say yes, no in the chat box. Okay. So if you want yes, no here, guys, are you understanding or not, right? Now, if suppose I want to find out which is my IP address, on which computer am I working, or what is the IP address of my computer? Okay. So let me actually do that using this, command ifconfig. Okay, ifconfig. Let me see that. Okay, ifconfig. Okay, can you see anywhere active? If it is active, then it would be my IP address. Status is inactive, status active. Yes. Okay, so this one, it is active. Okay, this is my network interface, and the IP address, okay, is this one. This is my IPv4 address, 192.168.1.102. It means this is the address on which my computer, which I am using, right, is identified by this IP address. Okay, 162.168.1.102. This is composed of, okay, this is composed of 4 octets. One octet is nothing but 8 bytes. I'm not discussing about octets and all for now. That is not needed for now. Understand that IP address is only an address which will identify my computer on my network. Is that okay? I'm repeating again. This IP address will identify a computer on a particular network. Okay, so let me just confirm whether that is the right one. Okay, so let me go to system preferences. In system preferences, let me go to network. Okay, in network, is there any IP address written? Yes. Can you see here, my dear friends? My Wi-Fi is connected to the Subash and has the IP address 192.168.102. It is green. It is connected to a Wi-Fi network. Did you see this? So this is basically my IP address. Is that okay? Hello, is this clear now? Is that clear, my dear friends? Hello. What is an IP address? IP address is a unique number which will identify a computer on a particular network. Okay. If that is your IP address, then what do you mean by a MAC address, my dear friends? What do you mean by a MAC address? Can you tell me? What do you mean by a MAC address? Yeah. Tell me, what do you mean by MAC address? Okay, it's a device address. So what is the difference between an IP address and a MAC address? MAC address is not needed for us because everything would be taken care by the operating system. But still, I'm just giving you an information. Okay. Yes, Niveta. So MAC address is nothing but your physical address, correct? No. So where is it present? Where is your MAC address present? Can you tell me? Where is your MAC address present, my dear friends? Okay, what is it? Okay, in the hardware. Which part of the hardware? No, so in there, it is not in the CPU. It is not on the CPU. So where is your MAC address present? Which part? Which part of your hardware? I mean, computer means there is a lot of hardware parts are there. No. Okay, there is CPU. There is your motherboard. I mean, CPU sits on the motherboard. So on the motherboard contains lot of hardware components, right? So which component does this MAC address be there? Okay, any idea? Any idea? Yeah, motherboard has lot of components. It has your processor, it has your DDR slot, RAM slot, that is your hard disk slot. Lot of things are there on your motherboard, isn't it? So in which part does this MAC address be there? Okay, fine. MAC address would be there on your Ethernet card. Do you know this Ethernet card, my dear friends? You know your card, net card, you call it as Ethernet card. Few people call it as your network card. Okay, it is called as your network interface card. Few people call it as, exactly, it is called as your NIC. Okay, it is called as your network interface card, where, okay, that card would actually get connected to your Ethernet wire. That Ethernet wire you can connect there. No, so that is nothing but an extension of your NIC card, correct? So that is where your MAC address would be present. Okay, I'm not going detail into it because that is, if I want to explain networking, it goes for hours and hours and months. Okay, but still, I'm just trying to give you an idea. There is a card called, there is a element of, what do you call, there is a hardware device called as network interface card. On that, there would be given a MAC address. Okay, so every computer on existing on this planet, each and every computer existing on this planet will have a unique MAC address. Okay, there won't be any duplicate MAC address present. Is that okay, my dear friends? Each and every device on this planet will have an unique MAC address. You cannot find two different devices with the same MAC address. Not at all possible. MAC address is unique. Guys, is that okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Hello, guys. Okay, not okay. Right now, then, Okay, then what is the difference between your MAC address and IP address? Listen to me very carefully, my dear friends. Okay, no, if suppose this is one network, okay, this is one network, this is one LAN, this is one LAN one, okay, or assume this is your, this is your, computer science department, okay, this is your computer science department, and you will have a computer over here, and this computer science department would be given one, subnet mask. Am I going very beyond the networking and all that? Okay, let me not worry about it. Okay, so your computer is there, okay, it is based on, this is your, this is one computer, okay, and the overall address of this network is, 192.168.1.0 or something, okay, and each and every computer which is there in this network identified by this subnet mask is represented by, assume this computer is represented by 192.168.1.0, okay, 101, right? Now you will have another LAN 2. I'm calling it as LAN 2, local area network 2 in your college. Okay, this one in, electrical department. Electrical department will have your, subnet mask as 192.168.2.0 or something like that. It would be identified by like this. Okay, now if, and there would be one computer over here, there would be another computer over here. Don't, guys, if you don't understand, don't worry, just try to understand the analogy that I'm trying to give you. Okay, and this computer is identified by the computer, by the IP address 192.168.2.1, right? Because it is this, it is there in this LAN. Okay, now when I bring this computer into this LAN, you know what happens? The IP address of this computer will change. It will become, okay, it will become, right, it will become 192.168.2.2, something like this, correct? No, so the IP address is not permanent for a computer, is what I'm trying to tell you. The IP address is not permanent for a computer. When the computer actually, okay, jumps from one LAN to another LAN, from one network to other network, the IP address will also change. You're understanding? Hello guys, are you understanding? Okay, no, so the IP address of a computer will change based on the network, correct? No, if there are some 10 networks in your particular, college or in your university or in your company or wherever it is, if you shift a computer from one location to another location, what happens is, the IP address might change or will change, or definitely must change, correct? No, whereas the MAC address will not change, right? No, wherever this computer goes, this computer will have a common MAC address, okay, unique, not common, a unique MAC address which is identified, which will identify this computer. It cannot be, it cannot be the MAC address will not be shared by anyone else. That MAC address is unique to this particular computer only. The IP address can change, but the MAC address will not change. MAC address is called as the physical address, which has been etched in the NIC, in the NIC card, network interface card. Okay, it would be given in the network interface card. That is basically called as your MAC address. Guys, is that okay? Okay, but we will not be dealing with MAC address at all in this course. Okay, no, nor in any of the network programming that you will be doing using software. But it is good that you will understand this. Is that okay, my dear friends? Did you understand? Hello, did you understand this? Guys, hello, did you understand the difference between MAC address and IP address? MAC address is, a unique address for each and every device, okay? And it will, it cannot be duplicated by some other computer. So every computer, every device, hardware device, okay, which has the capability to do networking will definitely have a MAC address, and that would be unique address, right? So each and every device can be given a IP address, and the IP address can be changed, is called as your IP address. Okay. Now, then in that case, what do you mean by a port number? Guys, tell me, what do you mean by a port number? Any idea? What do you mean by a port number? Okay. The server uses a, so Niveta, each running service or process on a server uses a different port number. So Niveta, what exactly do you mean by a port number? Niveta, any idea? What do you mean by a port number? Okay, so guys, okay, let me give you an analogy over here. Listen to me carefully, my dear friends, right? No, Suhinder, not channel, listen to me. Okay, I'm not talking about the software hardware port and all that. I'm talking about the software port. So what is a software port? Listen to me very carefully. Okay, now I assume that, there is a big apartment. There is a big apartment. Okay, so there is flat one. This is flat one. Okay, so there is a house here. There is a flat one. There is a house here. This is flat two. Okay, there is a house, another house over here, and there's a ground floor house. Okay, it is like this, right? Now, don't you think this entire building will have only one number? Yes or no? okay, it would be called as house number 201, correct? No, this building number is 201, correct? Now my dear friends, this building is identified by one number, correct? But now if suppose you want to visit your friend's house, okay, no, okay, this is your, there are people over here, there are people over here, there are people over here, correct? Now if suppose, okay, Janvi wants to visit her friend who is staying in 201, is only this information enough? Is only 201 information enough? Is only the building number enough, or she also needs the flat number? She also needs the flat number. No, it means in the same building there can be, different multiple flats, isn't it? There can be multiple flats, and each flat would be given one number, okay? No, so that is number 201 bar, okay, 2, okay, or or you can call it as 3, right? Number 201/2, this is number 201/1. Did you understand this? So it is, okay, one building, in one building, which flat, okay, that is basically called as your port number, okay, right? So 321, what you can see, 123, right? If suppose if Janvi wants to visit her friend, then the friend has to say, please come to the building number 201, and in that building 201 my flat number is say 3, right? So this is basically called as your port number in computers. It means when I take this analogy with, in the networking, it is like this: in one computer, okay, in one computer, right, there can be multiple processes running, isn't it, my dear friends? There can be multiple programs running. Agree, disagree? Hello? Okay, I know programs will run here, I'm just writing it over here. Okay guys, in one computer there can be multiple processes running, isn't it? There can be multiple servers running. Okay, or let me write it over here. There can be multiple servers. This is one server, this is one server, this is one server, this is one server. There can be multiple processes running, isn't it? Okay, Sneha, can you please mute yourself? Sneha, please mute yourself. Sneha, please mute yourself. Yeah. Okay. So there can be multiple process running, isn't it? Now, if the client, assume this is like Janvi. Okay. Janvi wants to, connect with one of our friend, which is there in this particular server. Now tell me how is it possible? Okay. How is it possible? Tell me, my dear friends. Okay. So this computer can have an IP address. I understand. This is 192.162.1.2 or something. This is the computer's number, but within the computer, there can be multiple servers running, isn't it? Right? So this client has to connect with which server, isn't it? It is a problem, correct? No, so for that reason, each and every process would be given one number called as port number, software port, that is called as software port, right? So it might be, from 0 to 1068 and all that, it has been already used by the operating system for some standard services like HTTP, FTP, FTP and HTTP and such kind of things. It has already been used. Okay, so there are some standard port numbers which we cannot use. Okay, where already some servers are already running. Okay, so there are other than that, any number we can use. Okay, so say for example, let me make it as 5000. So I will call one of my, if this is my server, I will take that port number. Hema, can you please mute yourself? Guys, please make sure that you're on mute here. Hema, please mute yourself. Hey, guys, please don't disturb the session, no? Make sure that you are on mute here, please. Once or twice we can say to one of everyone does this, it's really bad. Okay, yeah, right? If suppose I want to identify one particular process, then I can actually give you a port number over here. Okay, so now let me actually, open my website over here. I've given it very, in detail. Guys, did you see that? For hello, can you see my screen, my dear friends? Can you see the screen? Hello, guys, can you see the screen? Yes or no? Tisha, mute yourself. Guys, why are you coming on? I'll do one thing. Okay, so guys, can you see this port number over here? Okay, so FTP data is using the port number 20. It's already been used. FTP 21, SSH 22, Telnet 23, SMTP 25. These are all standard ports, my dear friends. There are several other ports. I've just given only so many. Okay, so port numbers range from 0 to 65,535, but only port number 0 to 1023 are reserved for privileged services and designated as well-known ports. Okay, so there are some standard servers like this: HTTPS, IMAP, NTP, POP3, HTTP, TFTP, DNS, SMTP. They're all servers, okay, which will do different job, right? So various jobs. For all those, the port numbers are already designated. You cannot use such kind of port numbers for your client server programming. Okay, so other than the standard port numbers that I have given here, therefore we can, you can use any other number. So in my program, I think I've used a 6,000 or 5,000 as the port number so that we can run our client and server program. Is that okay? Is that okay? Guys, is that okay? You understand what you mean by a port number? So port number will identify a particular server on a computer with a particular IP address. Did you understand this? Hello guys. Hello, yes or no? Did you understand what I'm saying? So port numbers are nothing but a unique number that will identify a particular program or a particular process or a particular server in a computer with particular IP address. Is that okay? Clear with that? Guys, you're understanding what I'm saying? So in on a computer there can be multiple processes. Say for example, HTTP would be running here. HTTP is for your browser and all will use HTTP, right? Your web technologies and all will use HTTP. If you want to connect to a server from on the internet, you will make use of your HTTP, right? You'll send your HTTP get message, post message, right? So this might be that server. Okay, you might be actually to transfer your files or to connect to some other computer. Okay, on your local network you might be using Telnet. For your transferring your files you might be using your FTP, right? So if suppose your client wants to contact a particular service, then you have to say on which port it is running, right? So each and every server would be which does certain activity would be running on a particular port on the same IP address, right? So what is port address? Port address is a unique number that will identify a particular process on a single computer. It means a single computer is identifying an IP address. Within that computer there can be multiple processes running. So to identify each process, okay, so in the same IP address, I mean on the same computer, to identify a particular process or a server, you identify it by using a port number. Is that clear now? Okay, even me, what I will do is when I'm running my client server program now, I would be assigning each server and a client one port number so that both can communicate with each other. Guys, is that okay? Clear with that? Hello guys, is that clear with you? Guys, why don't you please drop the message here? I'm waiting for your input in the chat box, please, quickly. Clear with that? Okay, right. Having said that, okay, now the next one is, what do you mean by a socket endpoint? What do you mean by a socket endpoint? Okay, so I would be making use of socket programming. That is, if suppose I want to connect from, okay, this is server and this is client, okay, and if both has to communicate with each other, then each of them each one, okay, when a socket is open, it allows for communication between processes. Yes, Niveta, right? So it is basically called as socket is nothing but called as an endpoint, right? No, so this server will say that boss, I am ready for communication, and client will say even I am ready for communication. So this socket will say, okay boss, if you are ready for communication, then on which IP and which port number. So server will actually give that information while creating those particular. Okay, yes Darshini, you are right. Okay, so a socket endpoint is nothing but a combination of an IP and a port number. Okay, no, so this server will say I am ready to communicate on this particular IP address and I am running on this particular server. Okay, so client will say, oh, is it okay, then I am ready to connect on a particular IP address, okay, with that particular port number. So both are ready for communication and they will establish a communication channel between these two. Okay, so they are called as your socket endpoints. If you want to do client server programming in any language, whether it is C, Java, Python, or any language, both server and client has to establish a socket endpoint so that both are ready and both agree to actually mutually communicate with each other. So that is basically called as a socket endpoint. Okay, so basically in simple words, socket endpoint is nothing but a combination of the IP address and port number. So you have to suppose, the client has to contact the server. Client has to know which IP address and on which port number is the server running. There can be different servers, isn't it? One server here, other server, third server, fourth server, isn't it? So client has to communicate with one server. So that server has to tell to the entire world that, boss, see, I am a particular server, I am running on so and so port and this IP address. So if anybody wants to communicate with me, then you can use that IP address and that port number, then the operating system will directly connect you with me. That is what is basically called as a socket endpoint. Guys, did you understand this? Hello, did you understand this? Okay, if suppose a client wants to communicate with the server, then the client has to specify the IP address and the port number to which it has to communicate. Is it possible? Now assume when the client is trying to connect, he will only connect to the IP address, then what will happen? Okay, if the client wants to connect to the server and he will only mention the IP address, what will happen? Does the operating system know to which server to connect, my dear friends? Okay, because in this IP address there are so many programs, so many servers running. You have to identify a particular server. No, computer is okay, but in this computer, which server are you trying to connect? That is called, that is told by which, what information, who will give you that information? Okay, which part of the code will give you that information, guys? Tell me quickly. Yes, exactly, that will be given by the port number. So port number will identify a particular process in a system. Is that okay? Now, so these are some important technical terms. Right now I'm going to show you, okay, how socket programming actually works. Right, so this is this is how a socket programming work. I'm just showing you how it works. Okay, but in Java you don't need to follow all these things because everything has been abstracted by Java library. You don't need to know internally what is happening and all that. So it is very easier to do socket programming in Java. Okay, but still, because it is there, if you can understand the internal details of it, it will be very, very easy for you. Right, now having said that, right, so this is socket programming, needs a server and will have a server and will have a client. Right, now who is connecting to the server? Tell me, put that in the chat box. Who is connecting to the server, my dear friends? Who is connecting to the server? Okay, client has to connect to the server. Right, so it means client should be always running, no, sorry, server should be always running, no, isn't it, my dear friends? Server should always be running, no? Yes or no? It should be running. So whenever a client communicates with it, he should give some information to the client, isn't it? Hello, isn't it, my dear friends? Whenever server will always be running, and whenever the client requests to the server something, server has to, okay, perform some activity for the client and give some, services to the client. Okay, now what happens on the server side? Whenever you're doing server programming, I mean socket programming, right, so first thing that you have to do is call a function called as socket. Okay, no, or in Java terms you can call it as method. You'll have to call a socket. Okay, so after creating a socket, you have to bind that socket with an IP address and the process. Right, so socket is creating an endpoint. Okay, so to tell the whole world that I am present in this IP address and port number, you use the function called as bind. Bind is a function which will bind this endpoint with a particular IP address and a port number. Okay, by doing the bind, or by calling the bind function, it is the server is informing to the entire world. When I say to the entire world, what do you mean? Okay, to entire programs, or to the or in other way, it is telling to the operating system that, operating system, if any client is connecting to me, then send that client to me. Okay, so how will the operating system know? It is because this bind function will bind this socket with a particular IP address and a port number. Is that okay? Right, so once it does the bind, the operating system will get to know, okay, this server is been identified by this IP address and it is running with a port number, so and so. Guys, is that okay? This is your bind function. Right, so once the bind is done, the server is ready. Okay, next comes your listen. Okay, what do you mean? You don't need to do all these things, my dear friends, because everything has been taken care by the Java library, but I'm just trying to give you an information with respect to C programming. Okay, because underlying hardware is underlying software in the operating system is completely written in C language, and Java has just abstracted it. Okay, so I'm just giving you to show what is happening internally. Okay, now there is a function called as listen. You know what listen will do? Listen will actually wait for the, okay, connections to start coming. Okay, so it will actually queue up the clients. Right, so might be once a server might be connected by multiple clients, isn't it, my dear friends? Yes or no? A server can be contacted by multiple clients, isn't it? Not just one client. Right, so this listen function will make sure that each and every client request comes, no, that would be queued up. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5, like that, whichever clients come first, it will start queuing up in a particular queue over here. And in this listen, you can mention to how many clients you can, listen maximum. whether it is 5 or 6 or all those things, that you can do it using the listen function. So listen function is used to queue up a certain amount of clients, and whichever clients comes, no, it will start keeping those client connections into a queue, so that once the server completes one operation, it will take up the next client's operation and then do the servicing for that particular client. Is that okay with listen function? And then what happens is that, okay, so once listen will take up the, it will queue up all the requests, you know what accept will do? Accept will take the first client from that queue and he will accept it. It means he is ready for communicating with that particular client. Okay, so this is where when a client has sends a request, say, now let me talk about client here. Client is another program which will create a socket function over here, okay, for with this IP address and where it is running. Okay, this will be running in a different computer, this will be running in another computer. So this socket, he will create a socket with respect to this IP address. Okay, and then if this client wants to connect to the server, no, in this connect function he will actually write to which IP address and port number that this, he intends to connect, right? So in the connect function he has to write the server's IP address and the port number, so that this fellow, that is a client, can connect to the server. So when he says connect, the operating system will know that, okay, by seeing the IP address and port number that he has mentioned in connect, okay, the operating system will deliver his request to the server, right? So the request would be okay, or both of them will start talking to each other only once accept will accept that connection. Okay, so until the connection has been established, the server would be blocked like that, only waiting for some connection to appear. And once the connection appears and once it does accept that I have accepted your request, then there would be something called as three-way handshake. Okay, you can do this, research on this. It is called as three-way handshake. Both of them will agree to communicate with each other. Okay, and then the reading and writing will happen between these two, server and client, my dear friends. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hello? Okay, I'll repeat once again. First the server has to run, so that the client can communicate with it, right? So if the client server has to run, it would be running on one computer. So if the server has to get established, it has to call the socket function. Okay, so it will create an endpoint, but that endpoint has to be bound with a particular IP address and a port number. So that is done by the bind. And now what listen will do is that once the server starts running, listen will actually queue up all the client requests that are coming one by one. And okay, the server has been connected to client. You can call the server to be connected to the client only once the server will call this accept function and take the first request from this queue. Okay, once the first request has been taken from the queue, only then it means that it is ready for communicating with the client. On the other side, okay, if I want to create a client that has to communicate with the server on another computer, first I have to create an endpoint, okay, with socket with this IP address. Okay, it has to create an endpoint, and then I have to tell, I want to inform the operating system that to which server I have to connect by calling the connect function. Inside this connect function, I will be writing the IP address or the port number, saying that to where is my server running, to which server I have to connect is what. Okay, that information would be given in the connect function call, and the client will actually call this connect. Operating system will see the information in connect, and the operating system will connect by seeing the IP address and port number, will take this request and give it to the server over here, which will come from listen accept. Once the accept is done, then both will get, both will mutually agree to communicate between each other, and that process is called as three-way handshake. And once it accepts, right, so connect will now ask his request, boss, give me so and so, and he will say, okay boss, take whatever you ask me. So that communication or chatting will actually start between the server and the client. Guys, did you understand this? These are called as a series of steps that will take care, that will be taken care, that would be happening in between, the server and the client. Guys, is that okay? Did you understand this communication between these two, the server and the client? Okay, so lots and lots of information goes on between these two, but that is not really our botheration for now, because everything would be taken care by the Java library. For now, I just gave you some information like how really it happens. Is that okay? Is that okay, my dear friends? This is basically the standard set of function calls for socket programming. Okay, so this is an example for connection oriented protocol. There is something called as connection less protocol also, which I'm not discussing for now. It is not needed for now. Okay, so based on your time, based on your interest, you can go ahead and learn by yourself, which if you are really interested in doing socket programming. Is that okay? Okay, for now just don't concentrate on so much on connection oriented protocol, connectionless protocol and all that. Once you finish the complete Java revision, then you're interested, you can go ahead and learn about it. Is that okay? Is that okay? Shall we do some programming now? Okay, so all these things we will not be doing, because everything is taken care by Java. Whichever is needed, we would be doing it. Okay, right? Because that is what Java says. Java says, why are you bothered about all these things? I have already taken care. Just make use of the standard API and do the operation. Okay. Now, before doing the client server programming, before showing you the code, I want to actually show you how it actually works. Okay. Based on the working, okay, later I will show you how what is the code. Let us first do the working part. Okay, so how many tabs I have opened over here? Can you see how many tabs I have opened, my dear friends? How many tabs? Two tabs are there. Okay, no. Now, so one tab is for the server, the other tab is for the client, isn't it? One tab is for the server, the other tab is for the client. Okay. Now, I told you that, if I want to do a server and a client programming, my dear friends, I told you if I want to do the client and server programming, right? Both has to be running on the two different computers, isn't it? Yes or no? Server, there would be a server running on one computer and there would be a client running on other computer, isn't it? But do we have two different computers over here? Do we have two different computers, my dear friends? No, right? So what am I doing now? I'm running both the server and the client. I'm running both server and client in single machine, isn't it? Yes or no, my dear friends? I am communicating, I am doing the communication between the server and the client on the same machine, isn't it? I have the server also on one computer. I also have the client also on the same machine. It means I have both server as well as client running on the same machine. Yes or no, my dear friends? Yes or no? Right? Now, in that case, how do I do the communication? Tell me, how do I do the communication, my dear friends? Quickly tell me. Okay, so what is the IP address I have to use? What is the IP address I have to use, guys? If suppose I want to do the communication between in the same computer, if I have both server and client, if I want to tell the client to communicate or connect to a server which is on the same computer, exactly. What is that called as, Joshua? What is that IP address called as? Okay, what is that IP address called as? 127.0.0.1. It is called as loopback address, my dear friends. It is called as loopback address. Loopback says that it is the same machine. That's what it says, loopback address. Okay, loopback address, it is very famous. Okay, 127.0.0.1 indicates that. Okay, 127.0.127.0.0.1 indicates that connect to the server on the same machine. Okay, it means to the same machine where I am running is what it means. It is called as your loopback address. Guys, are you understanding? Hello, guys, are you understanding what do you mean by this? 127.0.0.1 identifies the same machine where the client is running, or identifies the same machine where the server is running. So if both of them has to communicate between each other, they have to communicate using 127.0.0.1. When in the socket, when you write 127.0.0.1, it means that both the server and the client are running on the same machine. They are trying to connect to the same machine where the program is running. Is that okay? I'll repeat once again. Whenever you write 127.0.0.1 in your program, it means that your program is trying to connect to another process which is running on the same machine as which the client is running. Guys, did you understand this? Hello, are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay, but if you are trying to connect to some other machine, some other computer, then you have to write the IP address of that computer, because in my setup here there are no two computers. I'm running both of them on the same machine. That is why I will make use of the loopback address. Is that okay? Is that okay, my dear friends? I'm making use of loopback address. Okay, now first I will show you how both are communicating. Okay, and then we'll see what is written inside that. Okay, the code is very easy, nothing to really bother about it. Okay, if you were doing it in C programming, then it would have been very not difficult. You had series of steps to be done, but the Java library takes care of everything. You don't need to do anything. Okay, now so I will run the, where am I, in which, so I am in the first, I am in the first tab. Okay, let me compile the server code. Okay, I have a server. Okay, Java server, I'm running this. Okay, now what is that? Now who is running, my dear friends? Who is running now? Did you see server is continuously running? Did you see the server running now? It is running, it is not doing anything. What is it doing now? Can you tell me what is server doing now? Server is actually waiting for the client to ask him something, isn't it? Okay, the server is waiting for the client to ask him something. He is basically, okay, listening. Exactly, Jagannath, he is basically listening now. Okay, now let us not bother about it. Now let me come to the client. Now let me run the client code. Okay, client.java and Java client. Okay, now shall I am pressing the enter key. When I press the enter key, what happened here? What did I get the output as? What did I get the output as? Tell me, what did I get the output as? Love you, son. Who gave this output as love you son? I think a client communicated with the server, and server actually server gave this output. Let me go and see that. Did you see that over here? What did it do? It said sent love you son to the client. Okay, no. So who gave that love you son to the client? Server gave. Shall I run the client once again? Shall I run the client once again? Let me see what he will give back. Okay. Oh, like you son. He now said like you son. See who is giving this? Server is telling like you son. Did you see that? Server said like you son, and that is received in the client. I'm running it once again. Okay. So like you son again. Okay. Love you son. Now love you son. Like you son. Okay. Hug you son. Like you son. Okay. Blast you son. Love you son. Love you son. Okay. Like you son. Okay. Hug you son. Did you see that, my dear friends? Okay. Every time the client is communicating with the server is giving him different messages, right? So you can see that over here, right? So sent love you sent to client, sent like you sent to client, like you sent to client. Like, did you see this, my dear friends? Okay. So client is connected. So first what I did was I started the server. Okay. Server started running, and then I am asking, client to go and connect to the server. So when the client is going and connecting the server, client is, server is giving something to the client, some message. That message this client is taking and putting it on the screen. Is that okay? Do you understand what I'm doing? It's a very simple client server program. Very simple client server program. Okay. So your assignment, if you're interested, you can go ahead and start, converting this program, this client server program, into a chat program. Can you do that? Okay. Can you do that? It means that client will say hi server, and server will say hi client. Okay. Then client will ask how are you, and the server will say I am doing good. Then again client will say did you have your coffee? Then the server will say yes, I had my coffee. And then the client will say okay, what are you doing? Server will say get lost, something like that. You're understanding, my dear friends? Can you develop this into a chat server? Hello, yes or no? It's very simple. It's not difficult and all that. It's very simple. Okay, just I'll give you this code. You extend this into that chat server. Okay, just as if both server and client are chatting. Now we'll see what is happening inside the server. Is that okay? Shall we see? We'll see what is happening inside this code. Okay, first we'll see server.java. Okay, now what is that we have first initially? Okay, we have we have a array of strings which says love you son, like you son, hug you son, blast you son. Okay, no, it is having array of strings. Is that okay? Array of strings, guys, nothing to explain. No, array of strings over here. Hello, yes or no? You know this array of strings? Hello guys, hello, is it okay? Array of string. Okay, now okay, now what am I doing over here? I'm saying server socket. This is server socket. Okay, there is a class called a server socket. I'm saying I am creating a new server socket at the port, okay, 5000. Okay, so that is binding and all will be taken care by the Java. We did not actually worry about it. The current IP address would be bound with this port number, because we have to give one port number to this, right? You understood what is a port number? Tell me guys, what do you mean by a port number? What will port number do? Put that in the chat box. What will port number do? Hello, what will port number do? Hello, I told you, what do you mean by port number? Port number will identify a particular server. It means this server is telling, this, what do you call, this server which I have written here is telling that if any client wants to connect with me, he has to connect with me on this particular port number. I am in this particular IP address, but my server, my port number is 5000. You're understanding? Identifies the server. Okay, you can whatever, I mean, other than the standard port numbers, you can use whatever you want. Okay, oh my god, 1 second. Okay, where did it go? Here. Okay, other than the standard port numbers, you can use whatever you want over here. I've just chose 5000 because it looked very easy for me to remember and see this. That is the reason. Is that okay? So now what is that I've done here? Can you tell me what happened in this line? In this line, it has done two activity. One is socket and bind together. Okay, internally the Java class, if you go and see the server socket, it would be doing the socket and binding. Okay, socket call and binding would be done over here, so that it has now told the operating system that any client who comes to connect with this IP address and 5000, send them to me. Is that okay? So you cannot have two different servers running on the same IP address. It will give you an error, connection error. It will give you a connection error. You cannot have two different servers which is running on 5000. You cannot write another server and say that I will be running at 5000. No, it is not allowed. You should write some other port numbers. Is that okay, guys? Till here, is it okay? Hello guys, are you understanding what I'm saying? You cannot have, or you cannot develop two different servers running on the same port number. You will get a connection error. You cannot run that. Okay, you need to have a unique port number. Okay, now Now, did you see that the server was continuously running? Did you see that the server was continuously running, my dear friends? Yes or no? You know how it started running continuously? Because it had a while true over here. Did you see that? It was having a while true. Okay, next, right? Next is what I told you. We have something called as accept over here. There I showed you listening and accepting. Okay, so I am not sure, but I think the Java library internally, because I have not seen the code, right? So it might be doing the listening internally. Is that okay? So here I am not doing the listening. Okay, I'm actually, saying just accept any connection that comes. No, any connection. If suppose some client is trying to connect with me, please accept it, and I'll get a new socket for that particular client. So this socket SOC is, you can see over here. Okay, this socket object will be identifying the client from where I have got the request from. Guys, did you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying, okay, this SOC will identify the server. Hello guys, listen to me. This SOC, server socket, will identify, this is an object which will identify the server, whereas this SOC, okay, what will happen after accepting? Tell me, what do you mean by accept, guys? Let me go slow. What do you mean by an accept? Accept call, what will you do? I'm accepting this means what? I'm actually accepting a connection from the client, isn't it? It means I am ready for servicing a client, isn't it? Okay, I have established the connection. That is what it means, no? Yes or no? So with whom did you establish the connection is told by this SOC, which is nothing but a particular client information. Is that okay? Hello, is that okay? I've given in my online book here. Don't worry, you can go and read after my class. Okay, so this SOC will represent the client with client whose connection I've accepted and with whom I'm ready to communicate. Is that okay? Is that okay, my dear friends? Hello, is that okay? Right? And now, okay, there is one more class called as print writer class. Okay, this is accepted, right? And there is a client called as print, there is a class called as print writer class, okay, which will get connected with the get output stream of the SOC. SOC is what? Who SOC is this? SOC means whom? Tell me. The SOC is what? SOC identifies whom does SOC identify? Client, no? So into client's output stream, okay, into the output stream of client, okay, I am writing the, what is that? I want to write some information. It means I am getting the output stream of the client. On that output stream, which is identified by writer, again I'll tell you, listen to me. Print writer is a class, okay, which is a class which will identify, I say the server has to write to the client, no? Yes or no? That server has to send some information to the client, no? Yes or no, my dear friends? Right? So where is that it has to write? It has to write into the client's output stream. Okay, I have to write it to the client output stream so that the client will pick it up from there. Okay, so to connect to your output stream of the client, you make use of the print writer class. Okay, and this writer object that you see of type print writer class, this writer object will now, okay, represent the output stream of your client. Okay, now what I will do is that let it be here itself for now. And you know what I'll do now? Okay, first I will generate one random number. Okay, you saw that randomly client was telling that, I hug you client, what is that? Love you son, like you son, like you son, love you son, love you son, whatever it is. It was giving some random answer. Did you see that? Guys, did you observe this? Randomly it was giving some value. Yes or no? Hello, did you observe? Sometimes it says hug you son, sometimes it says like you son, sometimes it says love you son, then blast you son. Did you see this? Yes or no? So what does it mean? It was trying to randomly take the string value from here and it was trying to give you, isn't it? Randomly it was giving you some kind of messages. So if I want to develop some kind of random messages, which function is there? Which is that function which will help us get some random number? Tell me, my dear friends. We discussed this long back. Which is the function which is used for getting the random number? Math.random, isn't it? I have this random number, I get one random number, and I will take that as an index into the string, and I will start printing it onto this get output stream. Did you notice it? Yes, random number is used to get a random number. That number which I get from random method, no, I will make use of that as an index into this. Sometimes I'll get 0 as a number, sometimes I'll get 1 as a number, sometimes I might get 2 as a number, sometimes I might get 3 or 3 as a number. Based on the number that I get from here, no, that I will make use of the index into this particular string. And whatever index I get, suppose assume that random number I'll get 2. In that case, what will happen? Okay, I will say s of 2. What is s of 2, my dear friends? Tell me, what is s of 2? What is s of 2? What is s of 2? Okay, 0 1 2, hug you son. Okay, so this entire thing will become hug you son, no? This entire thing will be hug you son, no, my dear friends? This one, s of this one will be hug you, s of 2 will be no hug you son, no? So that, where am I printing it? Where am I printing it? Onto writer. Okay, now what is writer identifying? The socket's output stream I'll be writing, okay, from where the client will be reading. I'll show how client will read now. That is a different story. Let us not bother about it. So whenever the server gets a request from the client, he will actually create a writer object, and he will actually take one string from this, and he will put it into the output stream belonging to the sock, which is nothing but that particular client, and then say I have sent this so and so message to this one, and he'll close that particular stream over there. Guys, is that okay? Do you understand what is happening? Okay, so first one is server is connecting to a particular port and saying that I am the server, and then he will accept a request from the client, and then for the on that client he will actually establish an output stream. Okay, that is a stream for writing into that particular client. Then he will actually generate a random number. He will pick one message from this, and then he will put it into that particular stream. See there, it is not system.out.println. It is a println method belonging to the writer object, which is nothing but identifying the output stream of that particular client. Guys, is that okay? Hello, is that okay? Okay, I'm giving you one information. So in the chat, it is your assignment to first make sure that both server and client will chat for a very long time, and then both should say bye, then only it should terminate. That is the program that you will have to develop. Okay, it is very easy. It's so easy. Once I show you the client, it will be very easy for you to do that. Okay, now having said that, now let me let me come to the client part. Let me come to the client part. Okay, so what is client doing now? Okay, what is client doing, my dear friends? Tell me. I am creating a socket. Okay, and okay, this is doing the both socket and connecting part also. So what is it trying? On whom should I actually try to connect? Is saying, boss, give me a socket on this particular this one, that is 127.0.0.1, and the port that I'm trying to connect is 5000. So please do give me a connection to that particular server, is what this socket will actually do. Okay, now this is client socket. Okay, and then what is he doing? So once he does this, okay, so the operating system will identify that this particular client is trying to connect to a socket with this IP address and this particular port number, and the operating system will send this client request to the server, okay, where that accept function in the server would be accepting it. Now what is he doing actually? So what did the server do? Once he accepts the client connection, he would be sending one message like hug you son, love you son, like you son, and all that, which would be read from the client's input stream. Okay, no, he put that into that output stream. From that output stream it would flow into that input stream, and from here I would read it. Okay, so to this input stream is connected to this get input stream is connected to this input stream reader. Okay, so what happens is that, listen to me carefully, the bytes that the server will write will be in binary format. Okay, whatever you get from get input stream will be in binary format. That binary format has to be converted into characters that human being will understand. That job is done by the input stream reader. Okay, no, and then to take it in bulk, it would use the buffered reader. Okay, and then as you know, we have done this read line method. Okay, so we will read that line whatever is been given by the server, and that I'll print on the screen. So your client is also ready over here. You understand this? Okay, so server will write on the output stream, and the client will be reading it from the client's input stream, which is in binary format. That would be converted into characters using your input stream reader, which would be read in bulk by the buffered reader, and then using that buffered reader's object br, I am reading that one particular line, which would be stored into the string message, variable called as message, and that message would be printed on the screen that you actually saw on the saw as the output. Guys, is that okay? Hello guys, is that okay? Okay, so I have given one more beautiful program in my online book. Okay, so I kindly request you to go through that program in the online 24 hours book. It is really very nice. Okay, it is finding out your lucky digit. So please go through that entire chapter, and keeping this explanation that I did for this session today, and you will be able to really make sense out of it. And what I want you to do now is that after the class, if possible, if you have time, okay, if you really have time, okay, and if you're free, then try to improve this to make it as a chat client. Okay, so our chat client are a chat server where the client would be telling the server hi server, and the server will actually respond saying hi, and both of them should communicate with each other. In my current example, client, once it gets the message, it is terminating, isn't it? Yes or no? The client, once it gets the message, it will terminate, isn't it, my dear friends? The current program, Hello, yes or no? I don't want this client to terminate. Rather, it should say that, it should try to say that, it should again connect back to the server. Once it is connected, not connect back, it should start again sending a message where the server will read it, and again based on that it will reply. Can you please do that? Okay. And both should terminate only once, both will accept by saying bye. Okay. Until both of them says bye, only then you should terminate both server and the client. Is that okay? Guys, is that okay, guys? Hello, will you do that? Will you do that? Okay. So hope I completed my, officially completed my, Java course live classes completely. Hope you guys enjoyed the entire session. But yes, let me tell you, until you all receive your certificates, Java course is not over. Until you complete entire assignment, the Java course is not over. I will not leave you until you do all your assignments and all that. Okay. So be active in the group and please do the revision from the start, my dear friends. You guys are 5 to 10 steps ahead than every one of your friends. Agree, disagree with me, my dear friends? You tell me, are you not 5 to 10 steps ahead than all your friends? Okay, all your friends are still, learning for your academics, but you have already started preparing for Java. Now let me tell you, please do revise all the concepts and, be active on LinkedIn. And, and one more thing is, start sharing this knowledge even with your friends or whoever it is. Okay, so that you will improve your knowledge. Okay, no, don't keep your knowledge only with you. Okay. And start sharing this knowledge with others also. By the time February 10th, by February 10th or by February 5th, I'm sure that you all will be awesome in Java, my dear friends. Okay. And whenever I post one question on LinkedIn, no, so even if you don't know the answer, okay, you can just search in internet somewhere. Sometimes I'll give you some questions which are not there in my online book, just to make sure that you will go and search on the internet and then find the answers, so that it will be a knowledge base for you. Is that okay? You can improve your knowledge like that. Is that okay, my dear friends? Hello, is that okay? Okay. And also, okay, Niveta, thank you, love you too, Niveta. Okay. So also, sometimes, my dear friends, let me tell you honestly, my days are so busy these days. I have a lot of, training programs. I have some projects also to be, completed. I have some projects also which I have taken, and, it's becoming a little bit, difficult. So don't mind if I'm not responding to your messages and all that. It is not I don't want to, respond, because I have very less time. Okay. But every day, once or twice, I'll definitely post something in the group. Okay. So that, I'm in touch with you. Is that okay, my dear friends? So please don't take very personally, thinking Subhash sir is not messaging me, Subhash sir is very, very busy, he acts to be very busy and all those things. I really don't want to be, annoy you guys. It is not like that. Okay. My, days are filled with completely, trainings and all that. So please don't take it so personally. Is that okay? Okay. So this were the first online class which were not boring. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. So don't worry, sometimes we'll also conduct some sessions. So people who are, who have joined Python, guys, I'm telling you, your new material is getting ready. Okay. The Python material is coming really awesome. You don't need to refer any other Python books and all that. I'm going to make you Python awesome. Okay. No, super, I'll make it. So we'll meet you on February 15th. The class will start. Okay. Yeah, Niveta, I'll try my best, Niveta, to conduct class often. Okay. So having said that, guys, okay, thank you so much for your support. Love you so much. Okay. So, but don't consider Java course is over. So until we complete our next, full revision, the Java class is not over. So please be active, like how you're active on LinkedIn now. So please continue that. Be active on LinkedIn even after the course is over. Is that okay? I want you all to have a lot of connections and, a lot of growth and a lot of happiness. Okay. So having said that, okay, so take care, guys. Bye bye. Okay, see you guys. Bye. See you. Bye bye. Okay. So someone is asking for a tip. Okay. So tip for, okay, let me give you a tip and then close the session. Okay. So okay, Niveta, I'll give you a tip for the day. Okay. So very simple tip, or very important tip which I would really like to give you is that, okay, yeah, listen to me, my dear friends. Okay. Don't expect anything from anyone. Okay. Expectation kills. Only thing that I would like to tell you is that don't expect. Okay. Only accept. Okay. And then start giving more into this world. Okay. Instead of taking more from the world, try to give more to the world. trust me, my dear friends, okay, you will start getting lot of progress in your life right now. So without expecting anything, start accepting everything and just start giving more and more to the world. Okay, how much more you give to the world, automatically you will receive it more than actually you give. Okay, no, so this is what I'm telling. I don't know how many of you understood what I'm actually trying to tell you. Okay, try to give more to the world, help others, help others, help others. Okay, so as much as possible, try to help others. Trust me, without your knowledge, okay, you will start getting lots and lots. Okay, so and one more thing is that someone asked me, someone asked me personally in LinkedIn, sir, once I start posting, will I get job openings from LinkedIn? Okay, don't use LinkedIn for the sake of getting job openings. That is a wrong way. Okay, no, so use LinkedIn for delivering, giving it to the people, start helping people, and God will automatically start giving it to you. Okay, no, right, my dear friends, did you understand what is the tip? So don't expect anything from people, don't expect anything, keep doing your good work. Okay, and automatically you will start getting a lot of success. Right now, for example, my dear friends, you tell me, okay, do you think now how much money does Virat Kohli have? Can anyone tell me how much money does Virat Kohli have, my dear friends? How much money does Virat Kohli have? Any idea? Can you guess how much of money he has? Okay, I heard somewhere he has nearly to 1,000 crores, 2.3 crore. Sahil, where are you? Sahil, where are you here? Okay, so my neighbor has the 2.3 crore. Okay, he is having more than 1,000 crores. Okay, he's having more than 1,000 crores, but still he plays cricket now, my dear friends. Yes or no? Tell me. But still he plays cricket now. Okay, is there any need for Virat Kohli to play cricket or anything? He can be aramse in life, isn't it? So then understand. Okay, Sundar Pichai, Sundar Pichai of Google. Okay, tell me how much money that Sundar Pichai has. I can't even understand how many zeros he has in his salary. He has that much of salary. Yeah, he's in thousands of crores his work, but still he works for Google, isn't it? Why? It because, see, the reality is that Virat Kohli or Sundar Pichai or these people don't really work for they don't work for money. Okay, they are focused on their good work. Once they actually focus on their good work, no, if they're doing their best work, no, money will automatically follow them, isn't it? The moment you focus on money, automatically your work is gone. When your work is gone, money will not come. Okay, so the tip for today is that, okay, give more to the world, focus on your work. If your work is good, money will automatically follow, isn't it? Virat Kohli gives his best work and money will automatically follow him. He is not behind money. Money is even if he says, I don't want, people will be giving him money, isn't it, my dear friends? Yes or no? So follow your good work. Money is the byproduct of your good work, correct? No, understand, your money is the byproduct of your good work. Do your good work, okay, and money will automatically follow you. Is that okay? So this is the same for you. Go and check after the class, you check for any celebrity or any famous people, they have focused on good work. They keep focusing on good work, and automatically money will be following them. Is that okay, my dear friends? Okay, so yes, right, Niveta. So having said that, okay, so meet you in the WhatsApp group with a lot of revision. Until then, take care, guys. Love you all so much. Thank you so much for your support. Okay, thanks, guys. Meet you in Python class. Take care. Bye bye. See you, my dear friends. Bye.